is this IMAX story? When I was at Fidelity back in the day, I was the biggest theater owner in the country, and
Nice.
this been a nice little run this thing's having, huh?
Yeah, and the story is again, it's if people are going to go, they're going to go to theaters that give you a better experience, and so they make tremendous huge screen Odysseus or the Odyssey, I guess the
Yeah,
new Nolan's going to be on there. It's going to
yeah.
do enormous box office. He wants to release it first on IMAX, so it's always good for them to have a nice tailwind like that. Box office has been pretty good, and they provide a better experience. They provide a reason that you wouldn't just stay home. That's theaters have truthfully, like, their origin was when you started making talkies right before the crash of 29. They were a crap business then. They were overbuilt. They immediately were way over levered, and theaters are always kind of a crap business, but these guys make the guts of the theater, and that's kind of, it's a better experience. It's a reason to leave the house. And again, movies aren't dead, just the way we watch them has changed.
I wouldn't say it's crap because the things about a theater that's a good is you have a negative working capital, so you earn the float. Because you're paying your guys 60 to 90 days, and people pay up front, and you don't have a lot of inventory. Because the film inventory is
Yeah,
on a
yeah.
variable pay scale, so you don't have to put the capital up for it. And they have pricing power. So yeah, they have organic. They have a negative kind of low single digit kind of organic volume issue, but I don't know.
They
It's a
remind me
business
of a little
that
bit.
runs
They
at
remind me a
15 to
little bit of
20% capacity utilization and has pricing power. If they could ever figure out how to get people in there for sports, man, I used to tell that to those guys all the time.
They played
there
with
should be a
Formula
way.
One, have they not?
They're kind of an 80s, 90s like airline model. Like when everybody would roll them up, they'd get too levered, they'd go bankrupt, they'd make their models like, things are going to be stable, and then all it takes is just 1 year where the content genuinely is crappy from your whole leverage model. They just go berserk. And so crappy business might be overstating it. They've been, choppy stocks, shall we say, historically speaking. It's but that doesn't make them a terrible business. And IMAX is in a kind of a sweet spot there. Still enough meat on the bone for them to grow more. And again, I like the fact that they're arms dealers, and they actually are in the business of firing some weapons too. They own their theaters, and they're also building the guts for other people.
And the last thing, and then I'll move to Bakes. You said that about Netflix, and it's obviously got a nice pop since it got, it's found out that Ellison boys are going to be underwriting the largest LBO of all time. So I have a question about streaming because I saw a headline yesterday that Disney's laying off 1,000 people. The streaming competition was one of the things that they kind of blamed. And then I saw a tweet, well, maybe last week or something, that you're going to need 12 services to watch the NFL next year. 12. Like, is there a point? Are we getting close to the point where the unbundling? It's always in media. It's bundling, unbundling, right? And those are only two
Yep.
ways to make money. Are we close to the peak fragmentation, and maybe we'll start to consolidate here, and maybe the Warner Brothers thing was just the beginning of it?
The Warner Brothers thing was absolute gift from God for Netflix, because it prevented them from just making a super idiot move, and not only that, but they got a breakup fee. It was glorious. It really just sort of almost a biblical saving type of holy cow. What a wonderful thing to happen in terms of streaming sports. Like I said, the Masters is starting at 10 a.m. out here on Prime. Netflix started the baseball season with an interleague game in San Francisco at absolutely the worst time of day. They had cheerleaders, which was an abomination. Interleague game, also an abomination, and they had outfielders staring straight into the sun. All of it's crazy, but all of it illustrates the point that the streaming dedicated services, Netflix in particular, Prime to a lesser extent, they're able to take advantage of the fact that the leagues are willing to whore themselves out to do absolutely anything for the dollar. And the incumbents, ESPN, is so bad in terms of their pricing. To buy regular season baseball, you need like 3 memberships. It's an absolute labyrinth of crap in terms of how you go about buying it. The most bullish case for Netflix is that the incumbent streaming sports are simply idiots, which I don't mean to cast too wide a nets there, but go sign up for baseball. Go realize that your ESPN Plus whatever doesn't get you actual baseball until you also sign up for MLB. And then you realize just exactly the opportunity there to just be a monthly service that says, you know what, you want to watch baseball? We're going to give you games on Netflix. They're going to have a Wednesday night game for pre-Thanksgiving. Now, is that smart for the NFL? Oh my God, it's like the CTE Bowl. That's just insane to have a Wednesday night game. Should they be doing it? No. Are they going to get the entire country to watch football all at the same time in a way that you can't find on ABC, ESPN, Fox, anyone else? Absolutely. They're more creative at it. They're better at it.
Hi, I'm David Maris. If you like what you just heard, we've tracked every single pick we make on the show, every ticker, every thesis, every entry price, over 1,100 picks and counting. We put it together in a free report with our top 10 performers, the reasoning behind each one, and a preview of our full dashboard. If you want access, the link is in the description.